is my turn. Just want what you are. I am ready for your action. Just want what you are. You should cut off all distraction. It's all on you now.
All right, you're welcome back. Now we're going to be switching things up back now to looking at the week that was in Nigeria. There's always a lot that's happened in the country, and I have here with me Ahmed Mustafa. Thanks for being here today. And of course, Muyiwa Amao. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
It's been a very busy week, and I want to start with, what should I go with now? Let's start with the Chibok girls and their meeting with President Buhari, which a lot of people are not sure what happened, because we hear at the point the press was told to leave the room. So most people were relying on eyewitness accounts, of him not necessarily being excited about being there. Some said he stormed out at some point. We're not sure exactly what happened. What did you get from that?
Like you rightly said, a lot of people are not particularly sure. There's no clear-cut picture of what happened. So many contradicting
accounts,
opinions or point of view as to the event that transpired with the meeting with the president. But one thing that struck me particularly was I have a few people who I trust their credibility, and in reading their social media accounts of what happened, I realized that it was an opportunity lost by Mr. President to connect, as they say, emotionally with the Chibok parents. How badly that was, I don't know, because there's no real accurate account. But if you put one and two together, you can understand that these people felt frustrated after their meeting with the president. Although a few people came and said it's not as bleak as the picture that they painted for us on social media. So, yeah.
In all of that, I don't even know that I'm particularly concerned about whatever transpired in the room. I think what caught my attention and most people's is the fact that an investigation has been ordered again into the entire issue. And it's a little confusing. What does that even mean?
Well, I think that there are two things we need to get in the right perspective. The first is that Nigerians expected so much from this government. As a citizen, I also did. And the second is that it doesn't look like the change they yearned for. I was a very strong advocate of a Muhammadu Buhari presidency in those days, and I felt, and I still think that it was a better choice. It's still a better choice. But events over the last 6-7 months is beginning to dictate otherwise. I felt that for a president who is the commander-in-chief of 180 million people to say that he doesn't have enough intel on where those girls are or where, it's a big no for me. You cannot say that. And even if you're going to say that, you don't say that in such an open forum. Granted, the president doesn't lie. No one is saying you should lie, but it's an indictment on your presidency for you to say that you don't have incredible intel on your citizens.
But in his defense now on that particular issue, we've always heard that, the best time to get someone who's kidnapped back is the first 48 hours. He came in almost 2 years after over a year at least after the incident happened. So if there was no intel before then,
That's not correct. Government is a continuum. You cannot say because something happened in 10, 15 years ago and then you let it go. If that's the case, or if that were to be the case, you wouldn't have a $2.1 billion arms probe. You shouldn't bother about what has happened when Jonathan was in power. The fact that you have that capacity to ask questions... Could
that be the reason why he's ordered an investigation now?
Well, that investigation is where I have a problem. What has happened over the last 7 months? We've seen our troops comb the whole of Sambisa forest. They've made appreciable impact. But within those 7 months, are we saying that you have no iota of clue as to where those guys are? That's a problem on the Nigerian system and an indictment on the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think he should do better. I expected the president to say, yes, well, investigations are ongoing. We don't have the exact facts to give you now, but I can assure you that we're doing something meaningful on it, and that probably could calm frayed nerves. We didn't see that. The impression we saw from the Yesuful woman shows that the president, like Mustafa said, didn't connect right as he should. And there's a bit of politics in everything. As an elder statesman, as a grandfather, as a father, I expect him to have done better. For me, it was a bad outing. And as a political scientist, the major problem I have, and I still do have, is the fact that 7 months after you became president, you don't have credible intel on an issue as serious as that. And that's something this government needs to focus on, because that's what the last administration used to tell us. We had problems with the last administration because it wasn't looking like someone was in control. We cannot continue to have that repeat itself now. We need a president who can take charge.
Yeah, Emeka, please let me just quickly interject to what he has said. You've said what the president has said, but you've been diplomatic with the truth. The fact is, he should come and tell us that, oh, there's an investigation going on, and then we don't have the right information to give you right now. But that still means that you don't have anything credible to offer. And that's what he has said. All he has done, the crime that I think, from what you said, the crime the president has committed is being blunt about the truth. And I think at some point, as Nigerians, we need to be prepared in our mind. The president did say, and if I can remember his quotes correctly, he didn't know, he didn't have credible intel about the whereabouts or the well-being of these Chibok girls. And Ebuka, you said this, and let me reiterate that if a person goes missing, in 48 hours, even in the United States, where all of the technology in this world is present, those people are presumed dead. If after 72 hours, they're not found. It goes from a missing person to the homicide department takes over that investigation. So you have a president who took over a year plus after the girls went missing. Should he be responsible for looking for them? Yes, he should be. But should he have told the country the truth of the situation? I completely support his decision to come out on air. And, it clears a lot of things. It puts everything in perspective. Let's not sugarcoat the truth and say, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. That's what he did when the Chibok parents met him. And he got lashes for that. When the Chibok parents met him, he was talking about the effort that the military had made, and that's exactly what you're asking him to do. This is what he didn't do in the media chat. It seems like we're a confused nation. We don't even know what we want the president to do. He's been truthful. He's been attacked for being truthful. He's been diplomatic with the truth. He's been attacked for being diplomatic with the truth. But I think there's a man who just wants to tell the story as it is, so that we know real time.
But isn't it right that, he's met this group before. I think he met them in June, about a month after he came into government.
Yes.
Isn't it curious that 7 months later is when you're launching an investigation, like you said, into an issue that's that serious?
Yes, I'm disappointed in that. I must take that categorically. I thought that there should have been actions taken. By now, a panel should have submitted their inquiry onto the table of the president. And then, when he made the statement that they didn't have any credible intel about where the girls were, I thought that was something he drew from a panel that he had set up to investigate this. Now, to hear him say that a panel is going to be set up after he had said there's no credible intel leaves so much to be desired. We must be frank with ourselves. Does he inspire confidence in his ability to recover these girls safely? No, it doesn't. But should he have said what he said on his media chat? I absolutely support that. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I agree. I understand where he's coming from, but my problem, which he seemed not to understand, is the fact that there's a systemic problem in this country. We had that problem under Jonathan. I do not want to see repetition of that systemic problem continuing. Yes, it's not going to go overnight. It's not going to go away overnight. It's not going to go away like tomorrow, like today. But the point remains that there were statements the last president made that didn't go down well with Nigerians. We gave an indication, or perhaps some kind of feeling or opinion that he wasn't in charge. I believe so much in Muhammadu Buhari as an individual, as a politician, and someone with deep experience. I want him to act that way, if not at all times, at very important times. It's not about the meeting we had with the Chibok girls alone. It's about the import of the speech or the message that came from him. When you hear your president say, look, listen, this abduction happened when I was not there. I have no idea in whatsoever fashion or whatever
Is it
form.
also possible that he knows? But because of security implications, he's not going to say.
Well,
maybe he just said it politically correct.
But that could have been better said, and that's my point. If he does know where they are, and he's not so sure of those facts, it shouldn't be as blunt as it is. He's foreclosed whatsoever impression those guys had on the positive rating for him when he said that. But that's not a problem. People say the truth every time. But in politics, there is diplomacy involved.